Hello and welcome to our Affinity podcast. And today we have Sukhi in the member hot seat. And Sukhi's been with me for about a year now. So, Sukhi, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
And let's start by introducing yourself. So, tell us a bit about yourself, your name, your job, family life. Let's go for it.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sukhi. I am a mum, a wife, and I work in the world of finance. And I've got two children, so yeah, quite a busy life to put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are your children?
So both of my children are now in secondary school.
Okay.
So yeah, it's dealing with the teenagers at this
Yeah.
point.
The stress of teenagers. Good.
Yes.
And you work full time, right?
Yes, I work full time. I'm
Okay.
an actuary by trade, so yeah, work in finance.
Nice. Okay. And what made you come to us to Affinity? What was it that drew you to us?
So I'd seen a few posts on Instagram about a few of your members, and I found it quite inspiring. I tried things in the past that hadn't really worked for me,
Yeah.
but I was at a point in my life I was going through where my confidence was quite low, and I wanted to kind of see what can I change, what is in my control.
Yeah.
And at that point, I had just had this. I wanted to feel better about myself and just feel more confident.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to try this, and yeah, obviously I approached you as well at that point.
Yeah.
I don't think I started with the mindset of how much I was going to be able to do or how I was going to do it, but
Yeah.
I had some clear, I suppose, vision in my mind what I wanted to do and how I wanted to get there. But yeah.
Yeah. So what were you struggling with before you met us, before you contacted us? What were your struggles?
I think where I found the hardest for me was that, like, where you've got a busy life, you've got a lot of stuff going on all the time. I mean, be it at home or at work, and sometimes you just don't give yourself that like time to yourself to just
Yeah.
focus on your own health. And when in the middle of all the stress and everything, it's sometimes easy to go for those easy food options and
Yeah.
just kind of do that and think, oh, no, I'm tired today. I don't want to do a workout, or I don't want to go out, and it's very easy to kind of just sit back, I
Yeah.
think. But I was also at that point, there were times I was feeling kind of sluggish and I didn't have the energy, but also I was quite keen on that, where just obviously in my 40s that I want to have more energy around my children, and
Yeah.
so it was, yeah, so it was a combination of all those things there. But I think for me it was more um I think my I wouldn't say a diet, but my food choices
Yeah.
and lifestyle probably weren't quite right for me at that point.
Yeah. Good. And what was life like for you before? So give me like a day in a life of Suki before you joined us, before you met us. How would you,
So
what would your food for the day, what would it involve?
I normally would not have breakfast.
Okay.
I would go straight to lunch, and I would get whatever was quick and easy to do, like a sandwich or like whatever is in the fridge, but not thinking about what I'm actually putting in my mouth in terms of, like, looking at the carb or protein or the nutritional value with the food.
Yeah.
And I think because I skipped breakfast, I would be quite hungry by lunchtime, and I
That's what
would
I was
just
going to
go for,
say. Yeah, I was
yeah,
going to
yeah,
say by the time you wait for lunch, you're probably
yeah,
so hungry that you put
yeah.
anything in your mouth, right?
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's very easy, I think, at that point, just like you can pop out to the shops and pick up something as well, and
Yeah.
just to make it quick for yourself.
Yeah.
And then I would have obviously my dinner, which I'll have whatever I was having with the family. And usually, yes, there would be quite a bit of carb involved in those meals. But yeah, and I would I would also have something sweet because I love food.
Yeah.
So that was that for me, that's like a big thing. I have a sweet tooth
And was
as
there a lot of
well.
snacking
So
going on?
so
Was there a lot of
yeah.
snacking going on in the
S-
day?
It, in all honesty, yes, probably because it was very easy. I mean, it's always accessible in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and there's always that quick. Oh, I can just take a bag of snacks or crisps here, or I can
Yeah.
just have this a biscuit here. Um, but not thinking about what is it actually doing to me as a person, and how I'm
Yeah.
feeling about it.
Yeah.
So those were obviously in those periods of being quite busy, and also when you're stressed and you've had a long day, it's very easy to just to move over to food. I
Yeah.
think for
Yeah.
me it was, at least at that point, it was really easy to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. And where are you now? Let's talk about your results, the time that you've been with us. It's been like a year now, just over a
Yes.
year. So where are you now in terms of how many kilograms down are we?
So
How you're like feeling within yourself, your body composition.
I lost 20 kilos.
Yeah.
And I've dropped 3 dress sizes. I think a completely, I mean, I mean, for me, like I mentioned before, too, food is very important. I'm a foodie. I love
Yeah.
like good food and trying different foods.
But I mean, this is a
I
big
know,
thing. This is a big thing with Asian families, though, right?
yeah,
Food is
yes,
life. So,
yes,
and we're always entertaining. I've always got people coming round. So,
yes.
or mom's always cooking for us and dropping
Oh,
food.
yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah, food is a big thing.
So I think for me, I mean, when I joined the program, and I remember even when when I spoke to you the first time, I was quite kind of open and honest about that. I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to completely give up sugars and carbs because I won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
And you were quite reassuring in saying that it's fine, we will work around it. And I
Yeah.
think that for me was the biggest sort of like, worry, and where I've been on like other diets, I've tried things in the past, because that's the first thing that will say, we just cut everything out and don't have it.
Yeah.
But I think when I came to you, you listened to what I like and I enjoy doing, which was important, and you
Mm.
kind of like what my needs are. But at the same time, like, it's just focusing on making those changes.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's been quite an eye opener to understand how food works. I mean, I'm not particularly tall as well, but just understanding
Yeah.
what foods work better for me. I think one of the things I've learned, I mean, having you as a coach, is that, like you can do substitutions here or there, but also, yes, don't cut out things completely and
Yeah.
keep it that 80-20 balance
Yeah.
in a way. And I
Yeah.
think that's really, really helped me kind of, change my mindset.
Mm.
Like in the mornings, like I mentioned previously, I would skip breakfast thinking, oh, I don't need the breakfast, I'll just have something else later. But
Yeah.
not realizing what that was actually doing to me. Whereas now, yes, I'm not super hungry in the mornings when I wake up, but I will have like, some yogurt with some fruits or homemade granola, and just try to like keep it light that way, but it's enough to keep me full for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then I'll have my lunch. But again, I try to focus on like, what protein content can I have, but at the same time, what vegetables can I bring in?
Yeah.
Um, but then come evening time, I'm a bit more flexible, so I'll eat whatever I'm having with my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but again, I haven't cut out completely all the carbs or anything. I've just reduced that amount,
Yeah.
and then focus on having maybe a bigger side salad with my food. Because
Yeah.
for me, it's that feeling of, like I said, where like I'm a volume eater. I like to feel that I've had a good big meal. So I
Yeah.
think that's really helped me, and I've continued with that as well, and I still do that now. Like, so
Amazing.
I don't make separate meals for myself. I'll eat whatever I'm having with the
Yeah, and I
family.
think that's been from day one. When you first
Yes,
came to
yes,
me, and I said, look,
yeah,
you don't need to make separate meals for yourself. You've got
yeah,
to have exactly what you're cooking for the family. But it's about the education and the
yes,
understanding, right? And the
exactly,
portion
exactly.
controlling. And
Yeah,
I think the major thing for you has been the accountability,
yeah,
knowing that
yeah,
you need to be accountable to the coach
yes,
on the
yeah,
other
yeah,
side.
yeah.
And that's what's got you your results.
Yeah.
How do you feel in terms of energy and mood now?
I mean, the stress is probably still there, but it helps. I mean, the exercise I've been doing, I know initially when I started, it was harder for me to get into that exercise mode,
Yeah,
but I've found something that I enjoy doing, especially now with the weather is nice. So I like to go for walks. And I suppose where I'm quite busy with work, like during the day, I may not be able to always put in the full hour of a walk or something, but I try
yeah,
to like, okay, get 20 minutes in the morning, do a 10-20 minutes at lunchtime, but then after dinner I'll try to do another 10-20 minutes. So I just try to split it out through the day.
yeah.
One, it helps with those stress levels as well.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's just kind of, I think I've learned to manage around that way, and it's just
Yeah,
it makes me feel better in myself
yeah,
that this is something I've got control over and I could do something about.
yeah,
But just generally the energy level is there. I mean, yes, there are times that I physically probably feel more tired, and hence it's easier for me to drift off to sleep at night. But yeah,
Yeah,
but the whole changing the kind of foods, not snacking as much, but focusing on the right sort of like, composition of foods
yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yeah, really good, good. And now, I think you've already answered this one, a day in the life of now. So we know what your routine's like now in terms of nutrition and movement. But from this program, what's been your biggest learning? I think you've probably answered it already, but let's just expand a little bit more. So what's the biggest thing you've learned?
I would say there are two things more
Okay.
than one, but I think the food that works for me and my lifestyle.
Yeah,
And also just making sure that there's always some form of movement, either via exercise or walking in my day.
yeah,
Because, yeah, I may not be that person that goes to the gym every single day, but I'll make sure I do it at least 3 to 4 times a week, but then make sure I have my steps in on a daily basis.
yeah,
And especially after meals, just not sitting down, but actually doing other things or just
yeah,
keep going. So I think for me, it's those two things which have been key. But at the same, I think that the main learning for me has been that you can enjoy food and still lose weight,
yeah.
if
You can,
anything. Yeah,
exactly. You
yeah,
can.
yeah,
And these points that you've just mentioned, your biggest learning, I think these are just going to stick with you now for the rest of your
yeah,
life because
yeah, yeah.
it's a whole lifestyle change that you've made, right? So the thing that you've done, everything that you've done is sustainable
Yeah,
and you're still
exactly,
enjoying your
exactly.
foods.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just to let the listeners know as well that Suki has been on many holidays as well throughout the year.
yes. I have.
She has such a busy work schedule. She's like in meetings all day, sometimes just travel to London, and I've coached her through all these days. So
Yeah.
she's done amazing. You've done really, really good. 20 kilos is a big amount.
Yeah, no, no, when I look at my old photos now, and I think I can't recognize myself. So,
Yeah,
but no, no, it's definitely I think anyone can. I mean, you just need the right guidance, and
yeah,
I do appreciate, like I said, I think coming to you uh, I think has helped. I think maybe from the cultural angle as well, you understand the kind of
yeah,
foods that we are exposed to, especially in like in an Asian household. You can't
yeah.
always measure like certain Indian items in the same way they or Indian dishes that you can with other foods.
Yeah,
But you learn to okay that this amount is roughly this much or this amount is this much. So I think that's kind of been the key thing for me, and
yeah,
and just being able to prioritize yourself a little bit in the busy lifestyle that we all have.
yeah. And I think so during your time with us, throughout the whole year, there must have been days where you didn't even tell me, but there must have been days where you lacked motivation and
Yes.
you thought, oh, I just can't be bothered now to track my food. I can't be bothered to be accountable, go for a walk.
Mhm.
And it can come with anything, stress of
Yeah.
work, family, kids, anything. So in
Yes.
these days where you had this lack of motivation, what was it that kept you going or coming back on track?
Uh, like you said, yes, I've had moments where that motivation has been down but I think it was a case of being accountable and just like I just have to get back on it again.
Yeah,
And I think initially when I started the program, because I couldn't see much progress the first couple of months, probably as much, or I couldn't see it myself, besides, yeah, the scale is moving. But when I started to get comments from other people saying that, what are you doing? Why are you looking different?
yeah,
And then I was like, oh, do I actually look different? Then obviously I started to compare myself. And I think just looking at the results that I'd managed to do in that time, and that's what kept me going as well.
yeah,
But I do think that and this is probably not the right thing to say, but yes, weekends for me can be a bit harder, and
yeah,
I've not always been able to track them just because it's quite busy. But I think in the back of my mind, I know that okay, if I'm going out or I've got a big thing going on, I'll skip the breakfast or have something super light for breakfast so that
yeah,
I know I've got my calorie bank for later in the day.
yeah,
And even at times what I've done is if I know I'm going somewhere, I'll make sure I eat something like the right food at home so I'm not
yeah.
actually that hungry outside as well.
Yeah. So
Um,
you go with not a big hole in your stomach and you're
yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
like choose everything and eat everything. That's a really good technique to do.
yeah,
Um, and also I think when you lose motivation or when you lost motivation, I think the WhatsApp messaging helps. So when I reach out
yes,
to you and I say, Suki, where are you? What's going on?
yeah,
Haven't
yeah,
heard from you in a day or so. And I think that just automatically just gives you a kind of a silent kick to
yes,
just respond to your coach. But
Yes.
there hasn't been many days where you've lacked motivation or, been off track. But the whole year, I mean, it's been great. And I know that you've had so many functions, so many family
Yes.
functions, well, weddings and parties and things, and you've got into your old sari blouses and
Yes.
outfits. It's been amazing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, no,
Outfits
definitely.
that you,
It's
you you thought that you wouldn't even fit into. And I remember
yes.
also the first 2 months when you started, you were finding MyFitnessPal a bit hard.
Yes. Yes.
We had a
It
little bit
was.
of, yeah, we had a little bit of like to and fro on MyFitnessPal because of, as you said, it's really hard sometimes to track Indian food on MyFitnessPal. But
Mm.
with the education and the knowledge and the understanding, we did it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about building those I think the small habits and slowly
Yeah. And also
and
patience. You were
yes,
patient. You're
yes.
very patient.
Oh, thank you. Uh, but
With
I
me, I
think
don't know if you are with your kids.
they'll probably say something else, but I think for me, definitely yes. It's been. I think you didn't. I think when I started the program, it wasn't about we're going to change everything overnight,
Yeah.
but it was more the case of doing it gradually. Because I'm sure even when I had like first conversation with you, like when I said that, like I want to make sure this is sustainable over long
Yeah.
term, and it's not
Yeah.
something I'm just going to do for a few months, and you were like, it's fine, we'll do this. It's going to become your lifestyle once you get into it. And yes,
Yeah.
fitness pal was hard, but like now I've not been using it for the last kind of a couple of months, or I was a month or so, and it's fine because you get so used to it after a while. And I
Yeah.
think even the changes I made with food and choices, I think the children also get exposed to that as well, like
Yeah.
healthier options. Instead of before I would grab a bar of chocolate, but now instead I'll have a fruit plate or something like that
Yeah.
in the evening and take my time. I will still have that little square of chocolate, but I'll
Yeah.
have one fruit next to it so I can kind of enjoy that.
It's
But
good.
it's
Everyone's been learning from you at home as well, right? And I think there was
yeah,
a
yeah,
time where you said to me that your mum was asking you about certain foods and you were
yeah,
educating her on
yeah,
what to have for dinner and stuff. So it's good. I mean, everyone's
yeah,
been seeing what you're doing and it's been
yeah,
spreading in the family, which is really, really good.
yeah.
So finally, what 3 tips would you give to someone starting or they want to start, they're sitting on the line, they're listening to this podcast and they're thinking, oh, actually, this might be something that I need right now. What 3 tips would you give to that person that's listening right now?
I mean, I think, looking after your health is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself because no one else is going to do it.
Yeah,
So I think that's that one thing we all need to be accountable for and take that first step. And the other thing I would say is you want to, I mean, the biggest gain for me out of this program is what works for you as a person. We all have different needs and goals that we want to achieve, but definitely I know you listened to what I wanted, and that's what I think kind of clicked for us in that
yeah,
sense that you were able to guide me and I could get to my goal as well.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's all about I think building those small habits, but slowly, and then it becomes part of your life. Once you start seeing the benefits that you get from everything and all the changes you make, it's all worth it.
yeah.
And yeah, so that was
It's a
main thing I would
process,
say.
isn't it? It's a
Mm,
process. You just got to
yeah.
trust the process. It does work.
Yeah, and I know I had times where I was like, oh, this is not working. Why is the scale
Yeah,
not moving? And you'll be, it's fine, just keep going. And I think it's all just about consistency. If you have that 1 or 2 days off, or you have a day where you've been super busy or you've been on holiday, just get back on it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine, and then it all starts going again, sort of. So,
exactly.
and at the end, we are human beings, and life does come in the way.
Yeah,
Sometimes other demands, but it is possible to do. That's what
it
I would
is. It is.
say to anyone. Yeah,
Good, amazing. Thank you so much, Sukhi. If
thank
anybody's
you.
listening to this and you may feel that you want to send it over to friends or family, please do so. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.